On this episode of Delivering Marketing Joy, I talk with Gillian Utesch from Brand Fuel, and she lets us know when she knew it was time to put on her big girl pants during the pandemic. Hey there, and welcome to a brand new edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. I'm your host. I'm your host, Kirby Hasseman. Joining me today is another industry rock star who I'm so blessed to have. She is an account manager and also the official pencil sharpener, she tells me, at Brand Fuel, Gillian Utesch. Gillian, thanks so much for joining me.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm always happy to get out of my pencil sharpening corner and be in the virtual world with folks.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun today. Before we get started, I just want to let you know that this episode of Delivering Marketing Joy is brought to you by commonsku. commonsku is an order management software platform for promo pros, I like to say. And for me, keeping track of an order from ideation to invoicing has been a game changer. We've been using it for many years. So if you're interested and you're in the promotional products industry, go to commonsku.com. You will not be sorry you did. So Gillian, I want to jump in. We've got some big topics to cover today. We all know we're living through some different and crazy times. And the reality of it is sales is more important than ever. You can't keep your company going if sales aren't happening. But, I think many of us are struggling to know when it's okay to sell, right? So how did you know? How did you decide to go back to selling?
It's funny that you asked that question because I ask myself that question every day. And when March 13th happened, we came home that weekend and we're like, okay, I think something might be happening. Like, I don't know, the world. And then the weekend, and then Monday, it was like, oh, wow, Batman, go in the basement and bring every portable charger you have because we're never going to see the light of day again. So that kind of set me up that we don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. And we can go from, I don't know, something to holy Batman. So that kind of set the tone that things can shift quickly. Mm-hmm. And so that kind of helped me know that it's okay to feel one way one day and feel another way another day. So I kind of spent the first 2 weeks going, I don't know what to do. I just want to drink coffee and then drink wine and that's it. And so that's kind of what I did for 2 weeks. And I figured if I was doing that, that's what everyone else was doing. Yeah. And then I kind of segued out of that and I put on new underwear and that was the start. And I felt like maybe the rest of the world changed their underwear and that was the birth of a new day. So then I kind of started reaching out to folks and was like, hey girl, what's different in your world? And she's like, well, I washed my hair today. So I kind of got that pulse of things and then we transitioned and it was about April and so I just kind of kept talking to my clients and I have a unique advantage that Brand Fuel hired me when I was 3.5 years old. So I've had my clients for a very long time and I've developed relationships with them. So I feel very comfortable texting them and talking with them. So we were able to just kind of chat through it. And I just decided about 2 weeks ago from the conversations with them, I was like, now's the time. We're going to blow up our little arm floaties. We're going to squeeze our noses. We're going to jump in the pool, and this is the deal. And I just decided. So I literally had no answer. Just like that Monday, March 16th, we all decided today's the day the earth is ending. Mm-hmm. And then I decided today's the day I'm going to change my underwear. I decided today's the day we're going to start selling. And I ordered in a bunch of spec samples and we printed off a bunch of virtuals and we used our 1985 binding machine and we put clear tape on boxes and we mailed them out.
I love
and
it.
Danny came in my office and he's like, why today? Why not? If not today, when?
Right.
And folks have loved it. Yeah. And, I understand that there's a lot of distributors out there who still may be asking themselves, I don't know if not today.
Yeah.
So talk to your clients, kind of get a pulse on things because you don't want to be that person who does send it at the just totally wrong time.
Sure.
I get that. But I also challenge you, if not today, when? 3 months from now, 3 years from now? I mean, my Botox is already fading. I mean, we have got to wake up at some point.
Yeah. Now, you know what I love, Gillian, is I think that you kind of went the same path as I did, kind of in different ways in the sense that we talked. we were empathetic. We were just trying to listen to see what was going on. And I think if you do that on a regular basis and you have real relationships with your clients, they'll tell you to a degree. And then the other piece that jumps out at me is, it does show you that what we do is unique in the sense that nobody is clamoring for a radio spot. It's fine. I'm not knocking on radio spots, but if you are thoughtful about sending out cool promo, nobody's ever upset about that. Usually they're pretty excited. So I think that's sweet. So we still need to go to market. And you kind of talked a little bit about, doing that, but in a bunch of ways we need to do it differently. Much like, we've talked Zoom, we've talked about all this other stuff, but how have you changed your strategy? Or I guess, have you?
Yes. Everything about life has changed. So everything about life has changed. I mean, I used to wake up in the morning and I'd drink my coffee and I'd watch the Today Show, and my husband would go to work and our kids would go to school, and I'd, sashay into work and not really do anything. And it was beautiful. Now, oh my God, I've got kids and calculators and there's math and someone's feeding the dog a battery. And I'm like, what is my life right now? Like, everything about my life is different. So everything about our clients' life is different. Yeah. Everything about how the solutions we provide our clients to their world has to be different. So I sat down and I thought, okay, how can we provide functional solutions for basic needs? Because that's what I need. Jenny Craig or rehab or something. I need a functional solution for some basic needs over here. Yeah. So I kind of started just with our team brainstorming through, well, okay, what's our day look like? Well, normally I would take my clients out for coffee. So I'd have an excuse not to go to work. Well, our clients, so that's something we can't do. Our clients probably have the same challenge. Well, what can we send them? We can send them a coffee cup. We can send them a K-cup. We can send them ground coffee. We can start to assemble kits. We can start to assemble easy solutions for them so they can solve their basic needs of how they would normally interact with their clients. And let's make it easy, because again, their husband's not bringing them coffee in bed anymore because he's having Zoom calls and their kids are feeding their dog a battery and someone can't do algebra and they're not wanting to brush their teeth because they're like, no one's going to hear it. I'm on Zoom anyway. So we need to make things easy. Whereas before, I'd have clients go, well, I want a circle, but I'm going to need 75 samples of this circle, of course, because I need to measure the diameter because the humidity could be different that day. So not like, just send me a circle, I don't care. I'm like, girl, I feel you. I would take a trapezoid at this point. Like, I don't care. So everything is different, and that's okay. Yeah. I'm so excited about where we are and where we're going, because I know we're going to come out of this different people, a different industry, doing things in a different, better way. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. No, I love that, because I always say that there's like three types of people who are in this right now. It's like the people who are bitching about it constantly. Those are most of the people on Facebook that I see. You got the people who are quote unquote accepting it, but most of the time they're sitting in the corner with a blanket. And then you've got the folks who are actually creating change, that are actually embracing it. And I think that the folks who do that are going to come out stronger. So, okay, final question for you. Look, most of us in sales are goal oriented. I know I am. I get the sense that maybe you are too. So how have you adjusted your goals during this time?
So I said the first 2 weeks, my goal was to drink an entire pot of coffee.
Okay.
Then it was to drink an entire bottle of wine.
Right.
Because that wine needed to be rescued. Okay. It was going to get through this quarantine. I was not going to leave it behind. Then my goal, like I said, was to change my underwear. And then it was to do it every day in a row. So I started off small, and that's what I tell people. Okay. Like, let's not get crazy. But set it for things that are achievable. And I didn't realize that sales was, I don't want to say I was addicted, but I'd get a high. Like, I'd close a big deal and I'd be like, yeah, I did that. What'd you sell today? Nothing. I was that person in the office, right? And I had no idea, because I'm 4'11" and I'm adorable. Like, who would think that was me, right? That was so me. So you take that away, and I was like, what do I do every day? I have no purpose. I can't validate my carbon footprint. So I sat down, I kind of said, okay, pull yourself together, Gillian. The sun is going to continue to rise. You're going to have another 29th birthday. And so I said, okay, what can I do to kind of future proof my portfolio? What can I do to make that 29th birthday a little brighter? And I went through and I said, well, my common skew world is a hot mess. Okay. The fact that Katharine Graham does not run around and be like, girl, clean your shit. I mean, that should happen, because if that happened, if she was the mama who like lifted up under our bed, she'd be like, you got art files in here from 1805. Like, you need to get that out of here. Like, they've changed their logo 3 times. So I went through all my art files. I went through all my contacts, and it was fun. I found out people have changed jobs 45 times, gave me great reasons to call them. I got new prospects, kind of going back to the other question that you asked me, kind of finding out if it was an appropriate time to sell, gave me a great reason to call. I was like, hey girl, I'm trying not to drink before 3 o'clock today. So I'm calling everyone I've ever spoken to. Where do you currently work right now? So I cleaned up my common skew world. I started organizing things. I did all the things I have threatened to do before. Vendors would come in for lunch and learns, and they would say, hey, we'll offer you free specs, we'll offer you free virtuals. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And Danny would be like, hey, did you order? I'm like, yeah, I didn't order yet, because I intended to, and I wanted to, and I knew it would drive business. But to be honest with you, business was coming in, prior to March 13th. All I had to do was just wake up in the morning, turn on my email, and do nothing. So now I actually got to do all the things I threatened to do. I cleaned up my world. I cleaned up my account base. I reached out to our supplier partners. I shared with them, hey, these are my key accounts. Here's their buying patterns. Here's their logos. Let's put together some really cool boxes. And now fast forward, when I finally decided, you know what, if not today, when? I now have these beautiful boxes full of all of these printed products with their logos on them that I can send out. So had I not gotten my act together 3-ish months ago, and finally decided to just start doing it, now I have all my ducks in a row. So it was kind of action-based. It was doing all the things I threatened to do, but redefining that I'm not going to get the high from the sell today. I'm going to get the high from that check mark. And I got colored pens. You want to see right here? It said, I'm obsessed, okay? And there's a system to the point where earlier today I was missing lime green. Oh, and I was on a hunt. I was like, who's got lime green? Where's lime green? And our daughter's like, I got lime green. I'm like, you know better to take my pens. So, come up with this system, find a way to make yourself motivated. But there are ways that you can do things, and it's not just busy work. There are things you can actually go through that can set you up for success when, as I say, the world reopens.
Yeah.
Or what I did, I just said, the world's open.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. I decided. So I love that. And I tell you, it's funny because that was a big thing. I was like, the list of things that I said I'll get to when I have the time, I have the time. So I'm proud that we did some of those things, but the encouragement to those people who didn't do that, who haven't stopped transitioning from coffee to wine every day, is that, the best time to plant an apple tree is 40 years ago, but the second best time is today. So, that's great advice and super entertaining too, Gillian. I appreciate it. So you've answered my 3 questions. I give everybody a chance to ask me a question. Do you have any for me?
I thought I was going to just kind of organically come up with some, and I absolutely did not come up with any organically about you.
Okay.
Which is not like me, but consider it a very rare hall pass that I'm giving you.
Okay.
And you can sell them on eBay, because I'm sure there are 75 people at Brandfield. Danny Rosen will be first in line. I'm sure he'll pay you $1 million for your no question hall pass.
I love it. I love it. Well, hey, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate you taking the time, and great job.
Thanks for having me. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too. Hey, and once again, this episode is brought to you by commonsku. Obviously, Gillian and I are both commonsku users. If you are interested in checking out, learning more, head over to commonsku.com. They are an awesome company to work with. So that's going to wrap up this edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. We'll see you next time.